What's up, everybody? It's Alex Leak and Friends NBA podcast back for another week. I'm your host, Alex Leak, and this is the Western Conference Finals. Another episode talking the conference finals, not just the West, but the East. And now the Western Conference Finals are over as the Denver Nuggets shock a lot of people by sweeping the LA Lakers to advance to the franchise's first ever NBA Finals appearance. Major credit to the Denver Nuggets. Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray were the two best players in the series. Absolutely balled out from Game 1 to Game 4. And that's why it's a sweep. Incredible performance by Denver. I was not, Denver had to prove it to me. Right, I was rooting for the Nuggets in 2020 in the bubble when they got beat in 5 games by these Lakers. And I know it's not exactly the same team, but LeBron and AD 2 years or 3 years later. But I was so disappointed by the lack of competitiveness in 2020 that and in other series, other playoff appearances since then, that I didn't believe in this Nuggets team. Even though they were the 1 seed, even though they had home court throughout the playoffs, I needed to see it to believe it. And I saw it, and now I believe it. This Nuggets team is really good. Jokic averaged a triple-double for the series. Was incredible. Had another triple-double, passes Wilt Chamberlain for most triple-doubles in a playoff. Now, let's clarify that by reminding people that blocks weren't a stat back then. So if we recorded blocks back then, Wilt would have the most triple-doubles by far. But it wasn't recorded back then, so we can't say for sure. But so Wilt is the most dominant ever, but Jokic was incredible. What did he have? A triple-double in 3 of the 4 games. And Jamal Murray, credit to him, with 37 points in Game 2 and Game 3. And then, he was just great. All series as well. LeBron had 2 opportunities to tie the game late in the final 30 seconds, down 2. He shoots a fadeaway that hits the side of the backboard. That wasn't even close. That was pretty ugly. Bad shot, really, with good defense by Aaron Gordon. Extremely tough shot, and the shot wasn't even close. And then it looks like he kind of made up his mind he was just going to attack the rim no matter what on the final possession with like 5 or 6 seconds. He just attacks the rim, gets double teamed, and can't even really get a shot up as time expires, and the Nuggets complete the sweep. That wasn't a good look for LeBron at the end of Game 4. I mean, statistically, he had a great game. He put up 21 points in the first quarter, finishes the game with 40 points, 10 rebounds, and 9 assists. But what matters most is the win or the loss. With the season on the line, with 30 seconds to go, in a 1-possession game, how do you respond? Are you clutch? That's the ultimate test of a superstar, right? And there's been a lot of talk in the past about, a lot of LeBron fans are like, he's got the most game winners in playoff history. How can you say he's not clutch? But I think the people that have actually watched LeBron's whole career with a non-biased view, like a realistic point of view, can say, hey, we've seen LeBron not be clutch quite a few times. And another example was Game 4, when he didn't hit the shots when they needed it. LeBron's an all-time great player. But where you rank him in the all-time greatness is up to you. And I think the majority of people that know NBA history, that know the game, are not going to put LeBron first. In fact, I think the majority of people that know the game wouldn't put LeBron top 5. Now, ESPN and the national media have a narrative and an agenda to push, and they like to put LeBron second just because that's for ratings and it gets people talking. But for me, knowing the great history of the game, knowing Larry Bird's impact on the game, how great Larry Bird was, how great Akeem Olajuwon was, Tim Duncan, Kobe Bryant, Shaq, of course Magic Johnson, all these great players. Even in today's NBA with Steph Curry, Giannis, Kevin Durant, Jokic, you have to have some, perspective on LeBron's career. As great as he's been, LeBron doesn't have the record for triple doubles in a playoff series. That's Nikola Jokic, or in a playoff season. So there's a lot of different ways to look at it. LeBron fans love to hold up the longevity stuff, and now he's the all-time leader in points, passing Kareem. That's great. That definitely matters because longevity matters. But I think when you rank players all time, you look at the whole body of work and how much they accomplish, not just longevity stats. Because if you're going to go longevity stats, then is John Stockton the greatest point guard ever ahead of Magic Johnson? I don't think so. He's an all-time great, but is he greater than Magic Johnson? I don't think so. Is Karl Malone, who has more all-time points, greater than Tim Duncan, who has 5 championships? I don't think so. I put Tim Duncan as the greatest power forward ever. To me, the ultimate test on how great you are comes down to championships won. The ultimate goal in team sports is to be the last team standing, to win the championship. The goal going into every season is to be the last team standing, is to win your last game. And if you don't do that, then you came up short, And so LeBron with 4 championships, this was a big opportunity. So Laker fans, let's be honest. You guys were talking championship. Some people might not have believed it, including myself, that there's no realistic chance the Lakers are contenders this year or gonna win the championship. But a lot of Laker fans were talking championship, and including national media, and they came close, right? They beat the Golden State Warriors, the defending champs. They beat the Grizzlies to get to this point. And a lot of Laker fans were saying, hey, keep hating, keep doubting. We're going to win the whole thing. So now they want to pull back and say, well, the Lakers were never serious contenders. And now you're getting on my train, right? Now you're getting on board with what I've been saying since before the playoffs started. That the Lakers were never truly contenders. But y'all weren't saying that when you were beating the Warriors in 6 games. Going into this Nuggets series, you weren't saying you didn't have a shot against Denver. You were picking the Lakers to win that series. And so, for the Nuggets to blow them out, not necessarily blow them out, but sweep them, beat them 4 games in a row, is a statement. And it goes, and instead of hating on the Lakers and saying the Lakers were never truly contenders, let's give the Nuggets credit for how well Jamal Murray played and how well Nikola Jokic played, on top of how good of a job Aaron Gordon did, and Michael Porter Jr., and Bruce Brown, and guys like that. The Nuggets have to get a lot of credit. KCP, who was on the Lakers when they won it in 2020. But we have to give a lot of credit to the Nuggets, who played their asses off and make their first finals ever. And so now the big question for Denver is, can they finish the job? They made it here. They made it to the finals. But can they finish the job, and who will they be facing? As we look over in the Eastern Conference, another shocker, as the Heat were up 3-0 on the Celtics, won the first 2 games in Boston. Now the Celtics win Game 4 to stay alive, and that's a huge win for the Celtics, for the fact that now they can go back home for Game 5. And I know they're 0-2 at home in the series, but if they can win Game 5 at home, suddenly they've got momentum behind them with 2 straight wins, and all the pressure now shifts to Miami, shifts to the Heat for Game 6, because that Game 6 suddenly becomes a must-win, because last thing you want is to go to Boston for a Game 7 with the Celtics having 3 straight wins, on their back. So Game 5 tonight is a big-ass game. If the Heat can end it tonight, they need to. They need to try really hard to end it tonight. They needed to end it in Game 4 and were unable to. Jason Tatum puts up 33 points and 11 rebounds, outplays Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler's outplayed Jason Tatum the first 3 games. But now in Game 4, Tatum steps up with his back against the wall and delivers a big road win, right? So Game 5 is going to be huge. All eyes on the Celtics, all eyes on Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown to see if they can take advantage of a home Game 5 with their backs against the wall. If they can't, then series over. If they can, suddenly all the pressure goes to the Heat for their home Game 6. If the Heat don't win Game 6, I'll go ahead and say that I predict the Celtics will be the first team in NBA history to pull off a 3-0 comeback. Be down 0-3 and come back and win a series. That's never happened before in NBA playoff history. And it's starting to shape up and starting to look like maybe the Celtics will be the first team to do it. I know that's a lot of people are going to be like, wow, like you're going to go that far already? I am. Because I can see a scenario. I can see it. The Celtics have home court. All you have to do is get to a Game 7. And then you can kind of ride that home court. And you're playing against an 8-seed Heat who, I love this Heat team, but realistically they're an 8 seed that had to win a play-in game just to get into the playoffs. So if you get a little momentum behind the defending conference champ Celtics, they can turn it on and get playing really good ball. So Game 5 tonight is huge and advantage Celtics. I think the Celtics win tonight and force a Game 6, and then all the pressure will be on the Heat to win Game 6 at home. And if you can't do it, Game 7 in Boston is a very, very tough ask. So Game 5 is going to be fun tonight. Can the Heat spoil the party and win a 3rd game in the Garden? It would be impressive if they pulled it off. I'm rooting for the Heat, but I think the Celtics win tonight and keep the series alive. If not, then the Heat advance to the NBA Finals, and you're looking at a Heat-Nuggets NBA Finals, which would be a lot of fun. That's the series I want, is Heat-Nuggets. If it's Celtics-Nuggets, that'll be very interesting. I'll be rooting for Denver if that's the case. But I think it will be... I don't know at this point. I thought it was going to be a sweep. But a big win for Boston, and Tatum played great. And so maybe now the Celtics are still alive. I mean, they are. And Game 5 tonight is going to be massive. Can the Celtics take care of business at home, get their first home win of the series, and put the pressure on Miami for Game 6? I think, I don't think the series ends tonight. I really don't. But it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. And we'll see. You know, Jimmy Butler's got to prove it, right? He's got to prove he can beat the Celtics. The Heat had home court last year, and they lost Game 7 at home. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait for tonight. But let's talk a little bit more about this Lakers-Nuggets series and what it means historically for LeBron and the Lakers. You know, once again, we can point to LeBron not coming through in the clutch. Now, Laker fans are going to say he's 38 years old. He's in year 20, and he played all 48 minutes and almost had a 40-point triple-double. All that's true. All that's facts. But would you rather be talking about that or be talking about a Game 5? And LeBron scored 21 points in the first quarter. How many times have we seen superstars pace themselves and get their teammates involved in the first quarter so that they have, and then wait until kind of the second half to start getting it going, so they save themselves for the fourth quarter when they need to be playing at their best, right? And in my opinion, it's like LeBron used up all of his energy in the first quarter with those 21 points and didn't have enough gas in the final two possessions to be clutch, right? And so is that a mistake? Is that poor planning by LeBron? You know, we need to take all this stuff into consideration. I'm not trying to just hate, but think about this objectively. Should LeBron have waited until the fourth quarter to put up those 21 points and maybe save his energy for the final possessions? A 40-point triple-double is awesome. But if you run out of gas for the final two possessions and you're the one taking those shots and you miss them both, what does it mean if you get swept? You know what I mean? So, and if you look at the final possession, LeBron attracts a double team as he's attacking the rim. How many times have we seen LeBron attack the rim, attract a double or triple team, and him kick out to the three-point line where there was an open Anthony Davis? So you kick it out to three, Anthony Davis shoots an open three that could potentially win the game, a game winner. We saw Anthony Davis hit a game-winning three against the Nuggets in 2020. So, should LeBron have passed it out there? Some Laker fans and LeBron fans will say, well, it was going to be too hard to make that pass because of the defense collapsing on him. But how many times have we seen LeBron make that pass? Where the defense collapses, he kicks it out to an open three-point shooter. All I'm saying is AD was open at the top of the key from three. So, could he have passed it? Should he have passed it? I don't know. I'm not going to delve too much into that. All I'm going to talk about is what actually happened. And that's LeBron getting stopped on back-to-back possessions in the clutch in the final 30 seconds, down 2 points. Now, you can argue, is LeBron clutch? Is LeBron not clutch throughout his career? I think the further you get into the playoffs, the more not clutch LeBron becomes, especially in the finals where he's 0 for 6 in the clutch. And clutch is like, final 30 seconds within a one-score game. He's 0 for 6 in those scenarios. So, say what you want about whether LeBron's your GOAT or how high you rank him on the all-time list. Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray outplayed him thoroughly, and the Nuggets sweep the Lakers. This is the third time in LeBron's career he's been swept out of the playoffs. 2007 Spurs, which LeBron fans call a dynasty. Prime Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili. That's fine, and a young LeBron with not a lot around him in Cleveland. So if you want to excuse that early in LeBron's career, getting to the finals quicker than other superstars have. So If you want to excuse the '07 series sweep, that's fine. I think LeBron is great enough to get a win. You know what I mean? Usually a superstar at LeBron's level is good enough to get a single win. LeBron fans love to bring up the '86 Celtics sweeping the Bulls, you know? And, well, sure, you can bring that up. That's a young Jordan with not a lot of help around him. And he did score 63 points, which is still a playoff record, and still couldn't get the win. And those Celtics were an all-time great team. Those are one of the greatest Celtics teams of all time, with Larry Bird, Kevin McHale, Robert Parrish, Bill Walton, damn near 4 7-footers, you know, in the paint. All excellent passers. So, I've had Hall of Fame NBA writer Peter Vesey on my podcast before, and he said that might be the best team of all time, the '86 Celtics. And he thinks those '86 Celtics beat the 2017-2018 Warriors because of that size in the paint and passing ability. Who's going to stop 6'10" and up guys that can pass at an elite level in the paint? So, then they had great perimeter defense as well with Dennis Johnson and Vernon Maxwell and others. Or not Vernon Maxwell, Cedric Maxwell and others. So, I got on a tangent there. Where was I going with it? But, so you can make excuses for the LeBron going up against the '07 Spurs. If you're going to make excuses there, then let's make excuses for MJ going up against the '86 Celtics, all right? Also, we can talk about LeBron going up against the 2018 Warriors, the 2017 Warriors, the KD Warriors, who LeBron fans like to consider as the greatest team of all time, which I disagree. Give me the 2001 Lakers over those Warriors. Give me the 96 Bulls over those Warriors. Give me the 86 Celtics over those Warriors. Give me the Magic, Kareem, Worthy, Byron Scott Lakers of the 80s over those Warriors. Give me the 60s Celtics with tons of Hall of Famers. John Havlicek, Bill Russell, Bob Cousy. How great those teams were. Casey Jones, Sam Jones, Red Auerbach at coach. Give me those Celtics over those Warriors. So, got swept by them. Went 1-8 against the KD Warriors. LeBron did. I felt like LeBron's greatness, he should have got more than one win in 2 playoff series, 2 final series against those Warriors. Got thoroughly outplayed. Same as this year against the 23 Nuggets. And are you honestly going to sit back and tell me that these Denver Nuggets this season are one of the greatest teams of all time? Because I don't think they are. And we'll see if they finish it with a championship. Honestly, I don't think they do. I think they get beat in the NBA Finals by either the Celtics or the Heat. I could be wrong, but that's my take. So, I'm not sold on these Nuggets yet. Jokic is a great player. Jamal Murray is playing great. But I don't think this is an all-time great Denver Nuggets team. And we'll see in the NBA Finals. That's the great thing, is that we get to see how they finish the season, whether they win or not, in the NBA Finals. So, as a LeBron fan, now you're probably going to use age, right? You're going to say, well, he's too old, and he's got a prime Anthony Davis with him. So what does that say? Anthony Davis is getting a lot of blame. I don't really think he should. I mean, let's look at Anthony Davis' stats. 40-10 in Game 1. 18-14 in Game 2. Could have done better there. 28-18 in Game 3. That's pretty damn good. 28-18. And then 21-14 in Game 3. I mean, he gave you a double-double every game. He gave you 40 and gave you 40 in Game 1. Gave you, damn near 20 rebounds in Game 3. and was an elite defender. Was the best defender on the floor the entire series. So, could Anthony Davis have done more? Yes. Could LeBron James have done more? Yes. Blame for both? Absolutely. So let's not just excuse, oh, LeBron's 38, always in year 20. Do you deserve blame or not? Yes. Are you on the court? Are you playing at a high level? You know, LeBron played at a high level. So all that's left to do then is win games and be clutch. If you're playing at a high level, if you're in a lot of these games in the final seconds, win the games, right? Be clutch. Execute in the final minutes. The Lakers did not. They get swept. So I think it's fair to blame LeBron and AD for the outcome of this series. I don't think any Laker fans predicted the Nuggets to sweep the series. So let's be objective here. So LeBron deserves a little bit of criticism for the outcome of this series. Nothing wrong with that. Every single series we blame or we give credit or give blame to superstars for the outcome of the series, whether it goes one way or another. If the Heat blow a 3-0 series lead, we're absolutely going to give blame to Jimmy Butler. If the Celtics were going to get swept or beaten 5 by the 8 seed Heat, we're absolutely going to give a lot of blame to Jason Tatum. That's how this shit works. So LeBron fans, be realistic. Be objective. Getting swept by the 23 Denver Nuggets is not a good look. You can say, well, we shouldn't have even gone this far. Well, the Nuggets are an all-time great team. Blah, blah, blah. The Lakers weren't a contender. You can say all that now, but I'm just reminding you that you weren't saying none of that 2 weeks ago. When you were beating the defending champ Golden State Warriors, you weren't saying none of that. So, that's all I'm saying. Is LeBron the GOAT? I don't think so. I say absolutely not. Is he top 5 all time? I don't think so. I have Tim Duncan and Kobe Bryant and Magic Johnson ahead of him all time. So, you know, MJ, Kareem, Bill Russell are all up there. You know what I mean? As far as statistical dominance, let's put Wilt Chamberlain up there if you're going to put LeBron up there. So, you know, did the Lakers overachieve than what I thought they were going to do? Yes, they did. They played better than I thought, you know, in the playoffs. Beating the Warriors, I never thought that was going to happen. So credit to the Lakers there for beating the defending champ Golden State Warriors. I thought that was Warriors in 5 or 6. I was absolutely wrong. The Warriors disappointed me. But credit to the Lakers for outplaying them and winning the series. But at the same time, credit to the Nuggets for completing the sweep, being clutch, you know, and getting the job done. A lot of people talk about how bad of a defense the Nuggets were. I thought they did pretty well defensively, especially down the stretch of Game 4. So, I got that all out. I said what I needed to say. Setting up, we got Heat Celtics tonight, Game 5. I can't wait. I'm rooting for the Heat, but man, keep an eye on those Celtics. If they win tonight, a lot of pressure on Miami for Game 6 at home. Denver Nuggets are sitting back and waiting. They're ready to host the NBA Finals. They'll have home court regardless of who wins the Eastern Conference Finals. And Nuggets Heat or Nuggets Celtics, I'm going to come on this show and tell you right now, I'm picking the East to win. Regardless of who wins well, if it's Celtics Nuggets, it's going to be very interesting. Look, the Celtics were in the finals last year. They could easily beat the Nuggets. So the Nuggets are going to have their hands full, whoever they play. I can't wait for the NBA Finals. It's going to be a great end to the NBA season. Great Eastern Conference Game 5 tonight. We'll see if there's a Game 6 on Saturday night. Thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment. Let me know what you think. And have a great week, guys. Peace out.